The laughter around the table faded the moment my smile faltered. It had been Sarah's joke, sharp, effortless, cruel in the subtle way only a spouse can manage. To strangers, it sounded playful. To someone who knew the history, it cut deep. We were hosting dinner for a few of her colleagues, people she spent more time with over the past months than with me. Somewhere between the wine and casual chatter, she said it. "Oh, Daniel? He's harmless. He'd never notice if someone robbed the house or his wife." The table erupted in laughter. Even she laughed louder than anyone else. I forced a chuckle, jaw tight. I felt the sting creep through my chest, slow and poisonous. I looked at her, my wife of 9 years, and for a moment I saw something I hadn't seen in months: freedom. Not the freedom of joy, but the freedom of someone already detached, already gone emotionally long before physically leaving. I raised my glass slightly, a smile forming that didn't reach my eyes. "Well," I said quietly, "some thieves are clever enough to make you thank them while they take everything you have." The laughter stopped. You could have heard a fork drop. Her smile faltered. Her eyes met mine, searching, trying to gauge how much I knew. Until that moment, I hadn't been entirely sure. It had started small. A few months ago, she began working late more often. Deadlines, important projects, promotions. I believed her because I wanted to. Marriage isn't built on constant suspicion. But there were signs, subtle as quiet alarms you try to ignore. She started sleeping with her phone face down. Her perfume lingered long after she returned, but it wasn't the one I'd gifted her. And once, while she showered, her phone lit up. "Had a great time tonight. You looked incredible." No name, just an initial. When I confronted her, she brushed it off. "Just a co-worker being friendly. You're being paranoid." I wanted to believe her, too. Disbelief was easier than facing the truth. The woman I'd built my life around might be slipping away. But her joke that night told me everything I needed to know. After the guests left, the house fell silent. The kind of silence that hums painfully in your ears. She moved about clearing dishes, pretending all was normal. "You didn't have to make things awkward, Daniel," she said finally, tone sharp. "You made a joke. I made one too." I replied evenly. "Mine was harmless," she snapped. I looked at her. "Was it?" She froze, then turned back to the sink. The running water filled the space between us. "You've changed," she said quietly. "Maybe I just started noticing things." I answered. She didn't reply. That night, I lay awake beside her, staring at the ceiling while her breathing deepened. My mind replayed every smile she'd given him, every excuse, every time I'd ignored my instincts. Somewhere between the ticking clock and the ache in my chest, I realized something painful. Love doesn't disappear all at once. It dies slowly, like a flame struggling for air. 2 days later, I followed her. Not my proudest moment. I told myself it was wrong, that I should trust her. But trust had already been buried under months of doubt. Her car stopped outside a downtown cafe. She checked her reflection in the window, then went inside. 10 minutes later, a man joined her, mid-30s, clean-cut, confident. The kind of man who laughs with his whole face. He leaned in, touched her hand across the table, and she didn't pull away. She smiled, a soft, familiar smile I hadn't seen in months. I left before they noticed me. The drive home was silent. Every streetlight flickered like a silent accusation. My hands gripped the wheel until my pulse throbbed in my fingertips. When she came home that night, I said nothing. Silence would speak louder than confrontation. Days passed. We lived like polite strangers under one roof. She must have felt the shift because she started trying again. Small talk, dinners, even laughter. But love built on deceit doesn't heal with smiles. Then came another dinner, this time with her parents and my sister. Family night. I almost canceled, but something told me I needed to go. Maybe for closure, maybe to remind myself I had tried. It started well. Warm food, casual chatter, memories. But then her mother asked about work. She smiled faintly. Busy. Sometimes I feel like my job's my real marriage. Everyone laughed. Everyone except me. I didn't smile. I simply looked at her long enough for her to stop. "You're right," I said quietly. "It's strange how someone can commit so deeply to something while lying about where they really spend their time." Forks paused midair. My sister looked between us. Sarah's smile faded completely. "What's that supposed to mean?" she asked, voice trembling. "It means," I said slowly, "I know who it is." The silence that followed was suffocating. Her eyes widened, lips parted, but no sound came. My sister shifted uncomfortably. Her parents stared, confused and horrified. "Daniel," she whispered. "Not here." "Where, then?" I said calmly but coldly. "Because home stopped being a safe place the moment you brought someone else into it." Her father spoke, voice stern. "Is this true, Sarah?" She didn't answer. Tears welled, and she looked down at her plate. Silence confirmed everything. I stood. "Dinner was great," I said quietly, "but I've lost my appetite." And I left. That night, she came home in tears. Tried to explain. It wasn't serious. It just happened. I didn't mean for it to go that far. "Listen," I said. "Every word, every apology, every justification. You stopped seeing me, Daniel," she cried. "You stopped trying. I felt alone. So you found someone else to make you feel seen. Do you know how many nights I stayed awake trying to figure out what I did wrong?" "I'm sorry," she whispered. "Please don't throw away 9 years." I looked at her, the woman I once thought I'd grow old with, and realized how fragile love becomes when trust is gone. "Sarah," I said finally, "I'm not throwing away 9 years. You did that when you decided I wasn't enough." A month later, she moved out. I didn't chase her. Didn't ask questions. Some endings don't need closure. They need acceptance. Sometimes I still think about that dinner. The laughter, the clinking glasses, the moment her joke became my truth. And when people ask why I'm quiet, why I don't laugh easily anymore, I tell them this. Sometimes the person who makes you laugh the loudest is the one who breaks you in silence.